Welcome everyone, Questini here with Prince Tyrion's campaign, and in this particular video I am going to be going over the perfect campaign to start for him in order to get a significant amount of power in this campaign and dominate the rest of the game. Now, the important thing you want to do here is start producing Elven Gardens from your initial settlement, because you do start with Laffernet tier 2, and you want to get military advancements and archery prowess over here, and then go into spear wall, militia training. Eventually you want to get precise fletching, light FLMR armor, and martial law. Those are the research choices. Everything else is kind of fluff, basically. Just going to point that out. Then you want to go over here to Alario and declare and get the trade agreement, and also a declaration of war against the Scourge of Cain. You don't need to get the military access agreement. You will be able to get that later on. And then if you really want to make things a bit better, you can also get some agreement with Illyrion, though that is going to make you deal with Terranok. Regardless, so first battle, I am using some Autoresolve mods. You want to get influence all the time. You want to get influence when it comes to these post-battle choices, and we're going to get Rude Marcher over here, and we're also going to get scouting on the mage we have. The initial enemies you deal with in this particular campaign are not really going to be able to put up much of a fight against you. So this initial faction, we're going to start getting the Tower of Lycian to tier 2. We're also going to recruit another lord. Now, if you don't have any influence and you want at the beginning of the campaign, what you really want to do is over here, you want to go find a ridiculed lords over here. We would have Lord of Death. This does require Elfarian's DLC, however. Or you can go Lore of Life. Or you can use a save load character system. Like if you want to do it very quickly, so either Alifanar or Elfarian will be able to give you a lot of influence very quickly that you can use. And what you want to get is any kind of prince that has a positive trait. I mean, you can use just a regular one. It won't necessarily make that much of a difference early on, but it's just more of a long-term benefit. And you want to recruit 2 archers over here and get this campaign rolling. Now, with this is just turn 1. So we can see, like over here, let me just explain the situation. There's an army that's going to always start over here in the Shrine of Assyrian. There's a greenskin army here. There's another greenskin army over here. Elfarian starts a war with these greenskins. And one of your goals in a campaign is actually, if you're playing the High Elves or any campaign where you have confederations available, is to ensure that the other legendary lords, if you can, end up limited in the territory they get. So over here, we are going to take this port settlement, but then we're going to transfer some units over, and then take Tyrion with his mage. We're going to take them on a ride for the greenskins. Now, we also have Safari. When Immortal Empires originally launched, it was the situation that Safari would be either conquered by Alariol or Tyrion if you weren't aggressive enough against them. But they have changed that particular behavior. So you want to conquer Safari, but you're not in a rush to conquer Safari. Just making that particular point over here. So we can see that the army over there of the Dark Elves has moved over to the port settlement. That is an ideal outcome in a lot of ways to deal with over here during the course of this campaign. Okay, so now what we do, the reason we recruited that prince, it doesn't even matter what units you recruited over here. The reason we recruited that prince is to do this. We can attack with the prince. Now, obviously, the prince is not going to win that particular battle on its own, but if we take Tyrion and then force march with him, we can transfer the troops over here that he has, and we'll also have Tyrion. Sure, he will be force march, but Tyrion, even tired, is still a powerhouse. And we just transfer all of these units over here in this particular settlement, and then we can win. I would strongly recommend, if you're not using an Autoresolve mod like myself, to fight all these battles manually, because you can severely reduce these casualties. Like this battle would have been significantly easier had I had any kind of had I actually fought all of this manually. Like, you wouldn't have lost as many troops in a manual battle, but I'm just demonstrating here. So get more Inspiring Presence, more Route Marcher, get some global recruitment, sort out as much as you can regardless. Even if it's not necessarily going to be all that you want to just start recruiting a ton of units over here. Okay. Now, I could decide, I think that's going to be reasonable enough over there. So now Tyrion can move over here against the Greenskins. Don't declare war against the Greenskins instantly. You could obviously go take the Shrine of Asuryan, but you are not in a rush to do so. Like that, those Dark Elves are finished. Between the garrison that the port you just took will have, and the units you're recruiting there, the Prince there will be able to hold the line for a while at least. Of course, Dark Elves are going to recruit a bunch of units very quickly, but it's going to take them some time. So that's the reason behind the global recruitment I just used over here. Or you could, you know, even leave some units in the back over here. So now we go to Elfarion, we go to Everest, we declare war on the Skullcrag. You don't need to worry too much about getting any kind of good diplomatic agreement over there. And we can see over here, like the garrison here is a more substantial garrison, so it is going to take some more units to be able to deal with that. But again, it's not really too much of a problem. So we take this British settlement, we're gonna loot and occupy it. We want to actually get a rebellion over here. And then we're going to get a noble. Same idea, you can use a load save character system. Good one. A good one would a good noble would be one with frugal. That's all very useful. Get the Thunderbolt, it's a good spell, and then over here get more archers. And what you want to do here actually is you want to race Elfarion for this particular settlement. Now Elfarion will hopefully reduce the armies you're dealing with here. So she's going to recruit some more units. It's not really going to be a problem over there. And if we can beat Elfarion, like you might even ignore the port, because what are the Dark Elves going to do? They're going to attack Lothern. There's a massive garrison. Even if these Dark Elves take the entirety of the province except Lothern, you don't really care, actually. You don't really care. I mean, it's more beneficial to... It would be more beneficial to eliminate them as quickly as possible, but like, this garrison has 7 units. They're not going to attack the settlement. And look, if we can get alright, if we can get enough units over here, or maybe set up an ambush stance, gonna initiate the right of Asuryan. We're gonna get this noble, and we can take Tyrion and attack the Greenskins. Now, this would certainly be a difficult battle, but keep in mind, let's consider this. You can wait a bit, because like the main thing is just to stop Elfarion from being able to do that. I'm gonna send the noble over here because Tyrion doesn't need it. If I had fought all these battles manually, these troops certainly wouldn't be as damaged. Yes, I'm gonna lose some spearmen and Autoresolve. I don't care. I really don't care over there. So we're just gonna get more of those spearmen back again. Like basically the Greenskins here have been defeated. And the important point in this entire affair is the fact that we managed to race against Elfarion, because like obviously if you're playing on legendary, like if you're playing on lower difficulty, you actually have a lot more time, so you could reasonably like take this entire province and then move on these Greenskins. But if you're playing on legendary, by the way, keeping casualties minimized will actually help you from a diplomatic standpoint. It will make factions more willing to deal with you. It will prevent other factions from declaring war on you. All of that kind of good stuff. So over here, we're recruiting a bunch of units. You could sell this entire province to Elfarion if you want to, but the stronger he is, the less likely he will be to confederate. And okay, we get the Dark Elves there besieging the settlement. That's actually ideal from my perspective, because it means I don't... obviously, it will prevent me from recruiting some units. We get a quest battle, but we're going to need more units for for that particular battle. And you can see, like, there's no way this army is losing against this army. Autoresolve, the AI is making decisions based on the Autoresolve it expects to get. Though, to be fair, like, the AI, like, they would lose that particular battle in the default Autoresolve anyway, so it's like, it's just a weird one sometimes when you look at these particular decisions by the AI. Would be nice to have gotten a rebellion here, but I guess I'm just gonna go without one for the moment. And I'm just gonna recruit some spearmen over here and also just set it up to a higher level right here. And could I take down these units? Yes, with... Like, thing is, lords and heroes are quite capable of winning these kind of battles. Okay, gonna get rid of the barracks right here, get more units, switch to increase local recruitment capacity, and now Elfarion is going to be limited in what he can achieve in his campaign. To be honest, like, the main thing that really matters here is just preventing Elfarion from taking this particular province. Now, we do have that quest battle. Money is going to become an issue soon enough because we're recruiting so many units. It is going to become an issue, but it is an issue we are going to be dealing with shortly. Not quite gonna get the rebellion. Probably would have been better to sack this element sometimes. Like, I would have gotten a rebellion here if I had looted and occupied it, and that would have been more influence, more money. Calidor has been eliminated by Noctilus here. That's fair enough for me, as I see it, so I now have the green light, if you will, to go after Calidor. Rebellion here, though I think it's going to be eliminated. It's not necessarily going to be too much of an issue. Okay, we take Tyrion. We march Tyrion into this particular settlement. We take this army, we get more archers. And over here with Tyrion, we get more spearmen. We don't... You might think, well, why are we recruiting spearmen? Well, I don't want to recruit archers without light armor. There's a discussion on the subject, but I always feel like... I personally always feel with regards to archers without light armor that is, generally speaking, the better decision in a campaign. To only recruit them if you have absolutely no choice. Like, if you're in a province that doesn't have barracks, you're not getting barracks, you need to recruit units. It is the better decision. Okay, so we're going to get military alliance over there. I'm not quite sure what she's doing over there. But regardless, we're recruiting a bunch of units. And surely, after this, I will be able to fight Tyrion's quest battle. And it's those quest battles, like that quest battle, I would recommend getting a full stack. It's not really too hard of a battle, just be aware of Malekith. But important point is you fight that quest battle, you can win that quest battle. It's like just corner camp, really. But firmly recommend you bring an entire military force there. In this case, I'm going to go with like these kind of events. I am going to go with I am going to go for the influence bonus because influence does matter. And over here, we're going to take... Actually, we're just going to... Okay. So we now give most of these, including these. Well, I guess I'll just keep one archer. Oh, actually, gonna send the noble as well. So now Tyrion has a full strength army. He can go fight for the dragon armor of an Aryan. Win this battle. Like, you look at these armies over here, this would not necessarily be dangerous. And you also get reinforcements over here, so not really too big of an issue. And suddenly, we're full on money again. Yes, that is the sweet, sweet cry of victory. Now, we got time with Safari. I think I'm going to wait for the rebellion over here. I'm going to get dedicated to Hookon. The reason is I want the campaign movement reach. So now I have replenishment in this army. Things are going to get better, get hard to hit, just to make to increase their survivability, get chain lightning. Speed of Assyrian is also always nice to have. Tyrion is rank 10 right here. And we're just going to force march. Like, this army is going to deal with Safari after they deal with the rebellion right here. And we're going to start getting this particular settlement to a higher level. Over here, what we want to do is get growth. Because, like, control is not really going to be too much of an issue right here, but we want growth. And one of the things we could even do is declare war on Noctilus.
Fellow Asser, I bid you welcome.
You could go for the Confederation tactic over here with regards to Safari. I just don't really think it's a great idea. I'm gonna spend a bit of influence to increase diplomatic relations with Lothlorien. We're gonna get a bunch of influence. Like, really, outside of just, like, getting Southern of Rest, you do all of this naturally. Like, you would obviously get this province, you get a bunch of experience. You could go on Safari first, but obviously that would mean Lothlorien would have 2 provinces. And funnily enough, it would actually make Evres itself more vulnerable to Nakari, because what Nakari could do, like, the AI has a tendency when they take territory to linger there with their armies. That's one of the issues, if you will, with its behavior. So Lothlorien's armies would be soft, Nakari would come in north and just take Evres, which would be pretty annoying if you're confederating Lothlorien. Like, genuinely, this is actually much better for Lothlorien himself, because he's not going to lose his capital. Okay, so we got Lothlorien, tier 2. You could get rid of this particular building if you wanted to. I just don't see a point right here, so I am going to declare over here war on the Dread Fleet. I'm not going to do anything else than just declare war on the Dread Fleet. This particular army is going to march over here to the border. And, well, we could sack the settlement, but I think I'm going to wait one more turn for that particular discussion. I could just cancel over here the... Like I said, I was going to deal with the rebellion, but apparently it's not going to happen. So it's like, whatever. Should have just got the nerf earlier, regardless. So take Calador. Just going to take it regularly. Don't want to deal with the rebellion here. I am going to get some growth because, like, Val's Anvil has been reduced in terms of its level. And I'm going to get more hard to hit over here on the noble. Like, basically, Tyrion's army, to understand, this army should defeat anything that it encounters. Doesn't matter if it's Morathi, for instance, or Stankia. Well, Stankia can be a bit tricky, dependent on the situation. But still, it should be able to handle everything that's thrown against it. Right here, we do have a different dynamic in play. Okay. Now, you can't stop Alariel from expanding, and to be fair, you shouldn't necessarily care too much about the north. Like, it's ideal, actually, if Alariel, like, not necessarily craze, but if Alariel was to take a decent portion in the north, then she'd be vulnerable to Bellicor, the Norskins, and that way you can confederate her easier. Now, if you're playing Alariel, that's a tricky affair if you're playing Alariel in her campaign, because if you're doing that... Okay, we're going to get that defensive pact. If you're doing that in a particular campaign, then you're going to have to consider, like, you're going to have to weigh the pros and cons of Defender of Ulthuan. Okay, so we get Denounce the Messenger, Unhappy Population, Fire the Messenger, Account, okay. We could spend 10 influence. Let's fire the messenger. It would be nice to have gotten a plus control event, but so be it. Now, if I really wanted to prevent a rebellion here, what I would do is just... Okay, Port Telestor is going to decrease in terms of its level, and we're just going to get more units recruited over here and take Torsify. Don't want the rebellion here, so I'm just going to take them directly. And I'm going to get rid of that particular barracks. So, I can deal with this. I can deal with this situation. It is going to reduce itself, so it's going to take 5 turns. No. Yeah, I mean, it would take at least 4 turns to get a rebellion here, and it's going to decrease every single turn at the moment. And then once I get this capital to a higher level, I'll be able to get a controlled building over here. So it is a balancing act. Like, do you want to get an extra? Do you want to get an extra lord and just put an into it, or do you feel the extra lord is not necessarily worth it? It's that kind of decision making that you will have to make during the course of a campaign. So we can see Alfarian over here. He's at war with Nakari. He might win that war with Nakari, by the way.
What would you have of the Phoenix King, stranger?
Okay, we can declare war on Tyrion, but I'm not going to do so right now. So what I want here, I probably won't be able to move over here with a full army. I might want to recruit that third army just to deal with Noctilus. I don't want to get that defensive alliance with Alvarian right now, but I do want good relations with him. It could make it harder to confederate him. Like, my intent is to confederate Alariel and Alfarian as quickly as possible. The way you can achieve that is like getting really good relations, Alfarian losing an army or two against Nakari, if that does happen early on in a campaign. We can see Safri is moving another army over there. We're just going to loot and occupy the settlement. That will cause a rebellion in Safri that we will deal with, okay? So we get 4 more turns over here. Okay, I'm going to have to... I am going to have to deal with that. Okay, so we're going to get Observant, and we're going to get some units here.
I will see to it. How can I assist you? Lord of the Phoenix.
This will increase, like, obviously this will make a rebellion a certainty, but we do want to deal with
Your behest, Tyrion.
Okay, control.
Bring me battle.
More control. Control buildings do give you some income over here as well. We can see Alariel is not necessarily
much to discuss.
quite willing. I'm going to use the influence of the court to get better relations. Confederations are much easier to pull off once you have a 150 relations.
Orders.
So this army right here, it is just about ready to take down Safri. We're going to get Majesty of Ulfwan, Unifier, Righteous Cause, recruitment cost. Oh, actually, with the recruitment cost benefit,
I serve the king.
there we go. Bunch of units. Give it 2 turns. A rebellion will not instantly attack a settlement the moment it sparks. You gotta love Tyrion's global recruitment benefits.
Can I offer assistance?
That's all I'm gonna say. Now, if we find Noctilus there, if we manage to fight that battle against Noctilus, that will make, that will give us a ton of money, and another quest battle at Tyrion would certainly get, would also give us more money. Our alliance with Alariel, like with Alariel, you kind of want the diplomatic confederation. Okay, we can see that there's an army over there. It's gonna take a settlement. That's gonna suck, but I could emergency recruit a lord over there and just fill them up with regiments renown. When with the 5-unit garrison, it's almost certain that I would be able to stop that. Wouldn't necessarily be the easiest fight though, on my hands. Also, if you're emergency recruit a lord,
great powers the world over.
okay.
The people are restive. You called? Onward. Setting up.
Well, that was a bit interesting. Didn't think that I quite had the movement range there.
None shall
Now,
live.
here, if you want to defeat Safri, the best thing you can do... Let me explain. The best thing you can do with defeating Safri is create siege equipment, have them come out. Yes, you would fight outnumbered. Guess what? you've got more benefits. You've got Bowmaster, higher ranked units than they do. They only have, like, they might have a stack and a half between the garrison and you. You might also benefit. You might also benefit from taking out Cypher with Tyrion. Like, that would be the easy path, let's say. Okay, over here we got the fight against Noctilus incoming.
Loyal Prince.
Rebellion incoming right here. I'm just gonna, with Tyrion, I am just going to get Sword Player. And for her, we're gonna get the Comment of Casadora. Not necessarily the best spell in the world, but it will get the job done. And one of the things we can do, Valzamble. Because, okay, so we can get control. It will give us an item, but that's not the item that's really important. Let's go with the Crown of Authority. What is important is Val Anvil gives you Siege Attacker in every army. So over here, I can just fight this. Now, how would you fight this? It's simple. You got Siege Attacker. If you attack from the port, you have 30% movement range. So what you do to win this battle is you attack once, you kill as many units as you possibly can with the ammo you have. You probably wouldn't have enough ammo to win this in the first go. Then you come again, second go, you auto-resolve it or just win it manually. That's the thing. Like, you withdraw, it goes into a draw, you can attack again. Like, you need to have like 20% campaign movement range in order to pull this off, though. And there we go. Safari is ours. That's just it. Get Hook on. War of the Valoic. Shrine of Assyrian. Although, I could wait with that because I don't really need the control. But then again, it would ensure good control there in Wolf 1. Now, over here we got Noctilus coming in. Astankia.
You're not dead.
Now, in regards to Astankia, you could choose to go for a direct confrontation with her as quickly as possible. Or, you can wait. I'd probably recommend waiting until she's in a more vulnerable position. Unless you are willing to fight Astankia head-to-head. And keep in mind, Astankia is the only legendary lord that Tyrion might struggle with if she gets a bunch of curses. Now, the reason I'd say wait is because, yes, she can get a bunch of curses the more you... Wow, that's a load of horseshit. But, yeah, that's a bit rubbish. But whatever. They would lose the Autoresolve by default, by the way. Like, just... The army doesn't really stand the chance. The reason it doesn't stand the chance is I got a lot of armored units. Guess what? The elves have very long range units that can tear to shreds. Like the garrison there would win that. Okay, so Noctilus, he's just a frustrating little boy to deal with sometimes. And yeah, his... Like, this is the one thing Vampire Coast would do. The only army he has that's an actual threat is his army. Okay, so we're gonna get a rebellion here. If I move this army right here... Actually, we're just gonna move here to get more unit recruitment.
Lethal grace given form. My prowess is needed.
And also get a rebellion here. Hopefully.
Journey.
Alright, so Noctilus has decided to sit on his ass.
Servant of... There is glory to be won.
Again, he doesn't have the force to deal with that. Take the settlement. Now, Astankia could become an issue. Gonna get some hard to hit on Tyrion. Gonna wait for a replenishment in this particular case. Then deal with his quest battle. Let's get High Elven Affairs. Over here, get Ladern to tier 3. We're gonna get their rebellion soon enough. Get construction. And yes, we're gonna get a rebellion here that we're gonna deal with once that is sorted out.
Faithful servant.
Now, interesting, this usually doesn't happen, I want to point out.
Give the word.
So this is like a rare situation indeed, where Alariel has not taken the gate. She usually will. Like, by the time I'm doing this, she usually will, but sometimes, like, just faction potential doesn't go against the AI. Like, I don't know, sometimes the AI behavior is just odd. Like, sometimes you see Alariel conquering all of Nagarev in a very quick order. Other times, you see her sitting on her ass, doing nothing. Do we, in this case, do we want to go there? Okay, so the Safari faction, what remains of them, attacked the settlement there. They lost. Do we want to attack here? Keep in mind, we do need the Phoenix Gate. There's a quest that Tyrion has that does require him to get it. We can get the mage in Lawfern. Yeah, let's... Getting a mage would be nice. I don't dispute that, but at the same time...
Defender of Ulfwa.
At the same time, just don't think it's worth it. Like, this is gonna be a limitation.
You called. Moving out.
Rebellion cropping up there. Rebellion cropping up here, hopefully. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Speak plainly, and only of matters of business.
As you can see...
I've heard tales of your... You have a proposal?
Elfarion
Sure
has
you do not
really...
waste
Sometimes you might get a better result with
bid
the
you
military
well.
alliance.
I'm...
No death and destruction.
But in this case, he's not quite yet willing to confederate. The reason he's not willing to confederate is that... he may have taken some... There's a debuff that happens when you take territory, so I think that debuff might not have expired in his case. It's interesting. So Nakari actually just obliterated him in a straight-up fight there.
I think not.
That's
May we both serve
not really good. Alright, just not gonna... This, there's one army that I am going to send against Noctilus to finish him. And Tyrion's just gonna get Blade Master over here. Now, there's different perspectives on this. On one hand, if I prevent her from expanding, it will be easier to confederate her. And Astanka is guarding my western flank. So there is that particular perspective. But I would have to leave some armies there. Okay, so Nakari... Oh, Nakari. Well, that was unfortunate. I was hoping to avoid this exact situation. Sometimes things don't go the way you want them to, do they? So Nakari is gonna take over Torres, or at least sacked it.
I serve
Let your words be true, and your time here.
for the fallen.
Alright, so in this case I'm just gonna break my rule. Like, it would have worked in a different circumstance, but not right now, not with these timings. Rebellion crushed.
Restrain me. I will do my duty.
And we're just gonna have to recruit a bunch of units over here.
Ever loyal.
Who knows, maybe this will be the first playthrough of Immortal Empires where I actually take the Phoenix game myself. I doubt that.
Into position.
But a man can dream, right? Rebellion next turn.
Ready to serve. Highball. The Asur have conquered.
If you're
Well, I suppose I'm gonna have to rebuild Tor of Rest, won't I? It's not necessarily as big of an issue
I am the
as
heir
one might
of
think.
Venarian.
I'm just getting the defensive alliance because I'm gonna move. Yep, there we go. Now maybe Alfarian can pull off a win in the last possible moment. By the way, when you destroy Noctilus's armies, because the Vampire Coast has such a crap economy and such a bad generation of money, it's gonna take him a while to actually rebuild them. So, like, if you defeat his initial force and whatever secondary or even tertiary army he has, is gonna generally take time for him to rebuild from that kind of loss.
The winds are mine.
Can I offer assistance?
Magic in purest form.
Loyal prince. Preparing camp. Making my way. Your behest?
I trust that you too.
Your request?
Flotilla of the damned.
Alright, so that's gonna be the next the next target. Alariel should not have enough movement range, I reckon, to attack the Phoenix Gate, so I am marching on it.
Welcome to the court of the Evergreen.
Well, we got lucky.
Count Noctilus reigns.
Or unlucky, depending on how you want to view the situation.
Alain the Evergreen.
Alright, we'll do that.
High
And sometimes
Elven
things do
Archmage.
happen.
Handmaiden of the Evergreen.
I'm gonna run out of money here. The Eagles are coming. Get rid of the freaking Eagles. The only reason I'm not disbanding this army, and okay, this army I'm not gonna disband, or maybe just disband the freaking Eagles. Bloody birds.
Give the word.
Ready the Reaver. The decks of the Reaver.
I could also get a
ends
peace
justify
agreement
me.
over here that would give me a bit of time to sort
Loyal
everything
servant.
out. We also have mage recruitment here. But it doesn't matter because we already have a mage. Ah, jeez.
Greetings.
I think I can only really afford one army here. Why did she recruit so much trash? I will never know.
Evergreen. Servant of light.
Okay.
Master of high magic. Light of Avalon.
And gonna get rid of those Illyrian Reavers. I mean, there's pros and cons with early game Confederation versus late game Confederation, to be certain. We're certainly going to get a rebellion there. Though not necessarily in any other territory, but you never know. Alright. Just don't have the money right now with all that I've recruited right here to deal with things. Ooh, Nakari! What are you doing, Nakari? Getting his ass whooped. That's what. Alright, that army's gonna march north. I might be able to maintain 2 stacks if I really push for it. Well, I guess Alfarian survived. Shockingly enough. There's different possibilities I can have with this particular army, like sending it to Britannia to raid some territories, while Tyrion goes deal with Nakari. Yeah, sometimes you have a plan, and that plan does not go the way you want it. Who the funk? But really, right now, the supply lines are hurting me, because, like, there's 3 armies over there that Alaria gave me, and it's like, I only need 1 from her.
Asur Prince. I will see to it. Marching out. Traveling.
May we both serve.
Lady. What?
Lord of Fear. Lethal grace given form.
Okay, we got a rebellion, but I would ideally like to wait 1 more turn. I'm going to send 1 handmaiden over here.
wisdom.
we're gonna send...
Mage of Ulthuan.
I think I'm gonna send another one. I mean, she has one. Okay, let's send one to Tyrion, actually.
Alariel's champion. Sun Fang hungers. At your service.
Right, Phoenix Gate has been taken over.
High Elven Archmage. Alariel the Radiant.
I'm not really interested in Dryads. I think they're kind of crap as units. Yeah, so these guys get dismissed.
I hear the Kebie traveling unseen paths.
I don't need, where to put that mage? Great question.
At your service. Hand me.
Now, if I could just wait one turn.
Let's hear
Fear.
your best. Your request?
Alright, so I can get military advancements +2.
Talk to me. You commune.
We
with
declare
Jesus.
war on the Skaven.
You may
Fear my
It's just a
malice.
balancing act right now. Should be enough.
Your word shall reach.
You may approach and make...
Honor calls.
So basically, I kind of just want to wait one turn here, just get rid of these.
How can I assist you?
Expensive stuff.